السلام عليكم. دي حلقة جديدة من بودكاست ذات، والحلقة النهاردة استضفت فيها كوثر. كوثر صيدلانية كندية من أصول باكستانية وعايشة في قطر. علشان كل الحاجات دي اخترنا ان احنا نتكلم في موضوع الهوية والتشتت، وازاي احنا بعد تجربة الأمومة وبعد تجربة الغربة ممكن نحس بتشتت بسبب ان احنا حاسين بالغربة، ان احنا حاسين ان احنا في تجارب جديدة تماما، وازاي بنحاول نتأقلم معاها، وازاي هي شخصيا حاولت تتأقلم معاها. كوثر بدأ مبادرة حلوة جدا في الدوحة اسمها كوميونتي كونكت دوحة، بتستضيف فيها متخصصين بيقدموا ورش عمل للأمهات والآباء وللمدرسين أو المعلمين وكمان للأطفال. سوري. أنا استمتعت جدا بالحلقة واستمتعت جدا بالحوار. حسيت إن هي بتدي أمل لكل أم أو مغتربة عايشة لوحدها وعايزة تتأقلم، عايزة تبدأ شبكات اجتماعية جديدة، ما عندهاش صحاب، عايزة تعمل أنشطة، عايزة تطور من شخصيتها ومهارتها، ما تقعدش في البيت ساكتة مش بتعمل حاجة، لأن كل الحاجات دي بتفرق. أتمنى أن الحلقة تعجبكم. أنا بقالي فترة كبيرة بقرأ عن المotherhood crisis، وإزاي إحنا كأمهات ممكن نحس بأزمة، وممكن كمان ما نبقى حاسين بالذنب علشان إحنا حاسينها، عشان أنتي خايفة أن أنتي تقولي أن الأمومة تجربة أنتي مش فاهماها لسه أو كده. فالحوار ده فعلا فرق معايا بشكل شخصي، أتمنى أن هو يفرق معاكم كمان، ويلا بينا. السلام عليكم everybody. Welcome to my podcast That, and this is new episode, and my guest today is Kawther. Hi Kawther.
Hi, how are you? Am I doing this?
So Kawther,
we've had some
technical issues, so Kawther will basically has to
hold my
this.
mic.
Yeah.
That's good. We're good.
Okay. How are you?
I'm good.
So actually I will go into the topic immediately and ask you, who are you?
Who am I?
Yeah.
Look at you getting all philosophical, right? See, this is why you had to show me that she didn't show me any questions.
Yeah.
My name is Kawther, or Kawther. I am a pharmacist turned stay-at-home mom of 3, and I have a lot of things going on that I like to do for the community and for my family.
Amazing. So you're Canadian,
yes.
right?
Yes.
And you have roots in Pakistan, right?
So my parents are Pakistani.
Yeah.
They immigrated to Canada in like the 70s. So I have 2 brothers, and we were born and raised in Toronto.
And now you live in Qatar.
And now I live in Doha, Qatar,
So, do you feel confused?
I don't feel confused now, but I think I was definitely a social experiment coming to a new country, because I've lived my entire life in one city. So, and like literally like primary school, middle school, high school, university, got married, kids, working, all in the same town. And then my husband, mashallah, has lived in different countries, and he felt that this would be a good experience for our family and for our kids to experience something new. So initially I really had no idea what I was getting into, because I have not experienced this before. I mean, vacation is one thing, but living in a different country is something completely different. So the first year was interesting. It was hard. I'm going to be honest with you. Not having that familiarity in terms of what I was used to doing, surroundings, not having a social network. The first year was tough. But now I think I'm actually probably the most confident in who I am now. So am I confused? No. Did this change spark some confusion in the beginning? Absolutely.
Yeah.
And I think that needed to happen for me to discover me.
That's really a good point, because I was talking to a friend, and she was telling me I'm totally confused, and she feels that she is the only one. She feels that sometimes we feel that everybody figured out, and we're the only one who are confused. So this idea of realizing that confusion is part of the process.
But I realize it now. I didn't realize it when I was in it. And I think I'm older than Maha. This concept of a midlife crisis is real. It very much, when you reach a point in your life and you're like, not this is it, but is this all I've accomplished? And we don't talk about this. I think we talk about men going through a midlife crisis from my perspective, but I haven't had that conversation with other women until I was kind of going through it myself. That there is a moment where you're like, what is my identity? Am I a working mom? Am I just a mom? Am I a stay-at-home mom? What am I supposed to be doing with my life? And I think that confusion is necessary. It's messy, but you need to go through it. And when you talk about looking at other people who have figured it out, all the time. I look at other people, I'm like, you figured it out, but I don't know what they're going through. But that's the perception I have. Or I look at the past when I'm like, oh, but my friend who was in her 20s had figured her stuff out, and I'm still figuring my stuff out. That may or may not be true, but we don't talk about it.
We don't talk about it. And we people usually like to look good. And now that we can see all the people in the social media and all dressed up, posting good photos, so it can easily get into us, and I think we can be tricked easily by it.
Your generation for sure, because I didn't grow up with Instagram or Snapchat. I still don't understand Snapchat. I'm like a Facebook generation. Is that even, do you even use Facebook?
Yeah, of course.
Okay, I don't know. I was talking to someone
Egypt,
like Facebook's for old
we
people.
use Facebook more than
Instagram?
like here in Gulf. They are into Instagram and Snapchat and all. But in Egypt, because maybe we like to talk a lot, and
you can have an okay. But that whole social media thing wasn't something that I was part of growing up, but I still had that feeling that other people have figured their stuff out. And there's times where I felt confident, there's times where I was struggling. Where I was like, especially in university, I'm like, what am I going to do? I had this pressure put on, and myself putting this pressure on myself that I'm going to do med school, I'm going to do it. And then I didn't even apply. Like, I was so scared that I wouldn't get in that I didn't even apply. Because I didn't know what I would do.
And how did you take the decision? You're pharmacist. We're pharmacists. Guys.
I know. We're like so for pharmacy, for me, I had to do 2 years undergrad and then apply. And for med school, you do 3 years, maybe 4 years, and then apply. And I think I was so terrified that if I don't get in, what do I do? Because I'd only given myself this option. So I think maybe, I don't know, I don't want to call it giving up, but I kind of avoided that whole potential of maybe I could have gone in, maybe I wouldn't have gotten in. What do I do? Oh God, am I sorry? So then I applied to pharmacy, I got in, and I felt like, okay, I have something. And I think it was, I mean, for me, my faith is very important to me. And I know for me, Allah is the best of planners. And this pharmacy degree has allowed me to do so much. Really, it has. And I think it was, alhamdulillah, the best decision I made. Even though it was a default decision. It wasn't something that I aspired to. But I mean, I've done clinical, I've worked in the hospital.
Like conventional.
I've done the business side of it, the operation side of it. I've taught. I've worn so many hats as a pharmacist that I'm really grateful for my varied experience, and it fits my personality. But when I look back, I'm like, yeah, this was a good fit for me. But at the moment, no, I applied because I didn't think I would get into med school. I'm like, I need to have a plan B. Yeah.
And then we talked when we met before about being a mother, and when you decide to be at home and give full time for your children. Sometimes you feel stress from the society or the environment.
Yeah. So I guess for me though, I was working all the way up to coming to Doha. But the work after my first child, I have 3 kids, mashallah, I was doing part-time, right? Because that's what fit my family. So coming here, there was no part-time offered, and it wasn't something that fit my family. So it wasn't a choice that I made on my own. It was forced upon me. Yeah, that, listen, I have kids who are now in a new country. I'm also in a new country. Remember the social experiment. So I need to figure things out. I need to transition my kids. I don't think I could have done that and worked full time. Like it would not for me. I'm not superhuman. I don't think I could have done that. And I couldn't find part-time.
When you were in Canada, did you have any family support with the children?
Oh, big time. My mother has watched my kids
That's
almost for everything, really. My mom has been a huge support. I mean, when I had my oldest, we have like a year mat leave, and then I went back. And she would watch my oldest when I would go work like a 6-hour, 8-hour shift, which is a long time. My mom's a retired teacher, so this was something that she enjoyed doing.
I bet that made you feel
absolutely, because I can leave.
So.
And that was also a part of me having difficulty transitioning, because I have my mom watching my kids. And as a grandma, probably has, more of a love for my kids than a mom. Do you know what I mean? Like,
yes,
there's a different love of a grandma that I didn't know what to do here having no family. Right? I didn't know where to, my youngest was a toddler. He was like a year and a half when I got here. I didn't know what to do with him. I know other people have put their kids in nursery or whatever, but at the time for him, that wasn't the right choice for him. So I couldn't do it. But yes, I mean, having that family social support was a big reason why I continued to work after having children. Even though I was part-time, I had that support. Not having it here has also played into me not going back to work. Yeah,
I feel like any woman that decide to go and work, especially if she is away from family or she doesn't have support, it takes too much courage, because it's not easy for mom to leave her children for somebody to take care, somebody that she
trusts.
Yeah,
right. And I didn't have at the time someone that I could trust. And honestly, it worked out, because I've been able to, being now forced in a situation where I'm not doing what I usually do, to find things that I like to do, that forced me to do things for my kids that maybe I would have not done on my own if I was back home, because they're already readily available. So I kind of found a passion in doing kids programs or things for my kids and people in the community that maybe I would not have discovered because I didn't have the time if I was back home. So it's been a blessing in disguise.
Yeah, amazing. How did you told me that the first year in moving was really tough. How did you manage to get through it?
I don't know. I think, and it's going to sound silly, but the first year I got here, I wasn't driving. We don't have roundabouts in Toronto.
Yeah,
and
roundabouts.
But I couldn't understand how to do it. So my husband's like, this is how you do it. I'm like, I don't know what's happening. So for a year, we Ubered it. I would Uber the kids to school, and I would go with them, and then the guy would drop me back, and then groceries and this and that, and that was hard for me because I felt like my independence had been taken away from me. I didn't have a car where I can go do what I needed to do
And
when
you
I
don't
needed to do it.
like a lady that can be
No, I don't
independent.
like, no. So the fact that I had
I need
to,
my freedom.
I need to do my kids' schedule and my schedule based on the driver's availability was hard for me, really hard. And then I had a toddler. If you ask all my friends, they're like, the first year it was you and your kid. Like, it was like my Velcro child. He was attached to me all the time. It was very hard, and then finally got the courage to drive. And like we were discussing before, there's, you know, when people tell you these inspirational quotes or memes or whatever, and but like you're like, okay, this is nice.
Okay, and reality is different.
Yeah, but there was one that really stuck with me, where it was, you know, happiness is created by you.
Yes, exactly.
And I would see it and I would read it, and I didn't fully understand it. But it stuck with me. So when I was here, I'm like, listen, I need to put myself out there to create my own social circle, right? Because people are not going to come to my door and be like, let's be friends. It doesn't work that way. I need to find opportunities for my kids. And if I'm not finding them, I'm going to create them. And like I was telling you, it was scary.
Yeah.
It was really scary because I remember...
Because you are putting yourself into rejection.
Yes, which clearly I have a problem with. I remember I put my son in a program, but there was not a similar girls program. So I wanted to do something for my daughter, and I didn't know anybody. So there's, mashallah, a lot of WhatsApp groups here for sisters in Doha. So I kind of put it out there. I'm like, I want to run this girls group. Is anyone interested? And I put it up, but I was so nervous. I'm like, what if no one responds? But alhamdulillah, people did. And then I was nervous. I'm like, what if they don't like it? Like, what if they don't like what I'm doing?
Yeah.
Alhamdulillah, it was good. It was a good program, and I've made friends.
But if you don't like them also?
Well, yeah, I mean, it goes both ways, right? Because it's scary. I'm meeting people I've never met before in my life. I'm inviting them to my home. I'm doing something for my daughter and all these girls. I don't know if people are going to be okay with it.
But you didn't feel afraid or scared from inviting totally strangers to
Not
your
really,
house?
No. I was scared more so of nobody coming.
Oh.
Because I'm like, because nobody knows me. To be like, oh, well, now I'm starting this, girl group, right? With my take on it. Is this something that you'd want to do? So I thought, no, I don't know if anyone's going to even be interested in this. And then when I was doing it, I'm like, I don't know if they're going to like what I'm doing. But alhamdulillah, it was like a really, I feel, successful program.
And you still have friends from this?
Yeah, I do.
Group.
I do. This is the thing. I've learned now in my older age that
You're not that old.
But dude, but compared to you, no, but I feel like this is something that I wish I had learned earlier, right? So now I'm like learning this life skill.
You have grown in Canada and you already know everybody from school and college and everything.
And you have a family friend circle. Like my parents have had friends for the last 45 years that, do you know what I mean?
Yes.
So there's a consistency there. So I'm learning this life skill now, that if you don't take a risk, you're not going to be able to reap the reward.
Absolutely.
Right?
Thank you, because this podcast is my risk.
And this is amazing, except for no, I'm kidding. I'm kidding. No, but this is the thing. I would not have considered myself a risk taker. Even though if I look back, I'm like, yeah, I did take risks here and there, but really not. I used to play it safe. And it might sound silly to some people that I thought, running a kids program is a risk, because you're like, that's not a risk. But for me, it was, right? Like, what if it didn't work out? What if people didn't like it? What if I didn't get the benefit for my kids and the other people involved? Like, they didn't get what they wanted out of it. So for me, it was a risk, but it paid off. I wish someone had taught me that life skill earlier on, or that I had experienced it. So,
it's amazing, because this way, but it was not initiated by me, but the same way I met my close friends now, it was through a social group.
Really?
Yes.
Yeah.
My friend, she posted that I am here. I have like that kids, and I am looking for friends.
Yeah, like
Come,
a play date.
let's meet.
Yeah, cute.
And then yes, then we met, and it's amazing.
I think you have to initiate always, right? And listen, sometimes it hasn't worked out for me. I'm going to be honest,
Yes.
right? Sometimes I've put myself out there and it has not gotten the result that I want.
Many times.
But I value the experience.
Yes.
Right? And I'm hoping that my kids are watching me take these risks or take these chances and think that it's okay to do. Right? I'm hoping.
I think if you have in your mind that it's okay to get rejected.
Yes,
it's okay
yes.
that you tried and
It didn't work.
It didn't work.
Yeah.
Then it's okay. You will try too many stuff, and some will not work, but some of them would.
But I think
work.
this was what was holding me back for a very long time because I had a problem with doing poorly. Right? I'm like a overachiever. Right? So for me,
Perfectionist.
I don't know about perfectionist. No, I wouldn't call myself that, but I do have very, very, very high expectations of myself. So if something doesn't go well, like it was very hard for me to process. Like my driving test, I think I failed it twice. And I was like,
Twice?
In Toronto. How many times did you fail it?
Oh my God, no, I will not.
Tell me. Tell me.
Okay, so the theoretical
Yeah,
test,
the
this
written
is
one?
like the easiest thing.
Yes.
3 times.
Okay.
And then parking like 3 times.
Oh, I still can't park. So that's...
And then the street 3 times also. So I think I managed to get through it the 4th time.
Alhamdulillah.
So it was like...
So you got there,
crazy.
right?
Yeah.
For me, though, this is... And when I'm talking to other people, they're like, yeah, this is normal. Most people don't pass the first time. I'm just like, but why did I not pass the first time? Like, it was very hard for me to process that I did something poorly. I did not have that resilience. Or maybe I did. I mean, there's certain things I'm very resilient in, and there's certain things that I just didn't give myself grace. Yeah.
So that's really good point. And how did you how now are you managing your expectations from yourself? When you expect more and then
I still expect more. I don't think I've changed that. I think I'm comfortable with things not working out. So my expectation for myself hasn't
I feel
changed.
The same. Before I was expecting too much from myself, but now it's like, okay, I'm expecting, I'm dreaming, but it's okay if it doesn't work.
Yes. So it's not like you change what you're aiming for. You're just changing your perspective on the result. Yes. And I think having kids, I know, having kids for me is what pushed me to change my perspective.
Me too,
right?
I think.
Because I want to teach my kids resilience. How do you teach it? I don't know. I'm still figuring it out, but I'm hoping that if I'm modeling certain behavior that they will pick up on it. I'm hoping.
Yes.
I don't know. Do any of us know what we're doing as parents? We were just discussing
this before the podcast. I told you, let's talk about this because for me, my style of like raising my children is by just doing it. Because that's what I like. I was frightened, scared when my daughter started to model me or
they're watching
my
us.
Behavior. And then when I get nervous, I see her. I see myself in her. So it was amazing. That changed me drastically. Like I'm changing too many things just because I see what she is like responding to me, and so.
Yeah, no, you're absolutely right. I think I'm still learning. I don't think as a parent you ever stop learning.
No.
Especially when you have children who are moving to different stages of life, the problems just are different, right? So wait till you have a preteen. It's different.
So what's the next problem?
I don't know. No, it's not. I wouldn't say it's a problem, but like your challenges are there. What they're going through is different, right? So now, as a toddler or whatever, you're discovering the world, and as you're getting older, you're trying to discover yourself, right? And I think as parents, I know sometimes I have to remind myself, how did it feel like being in middle school and in high school?
Yeah,
it's a tough time. And I don't want to forget that, because I want to have that empathy for my kid, because this is not an easy time for any of them and us. Right? It's not an easy time for both.
I cannot tell about middle school. I'm just going through nursery now.
Oh, middle school's fun. Fun. Wait till you get... But I'm saying it's a different type of experience, right? Where now you can kind of be friends with your kid, right? Whereas...
Do you think?
I hope so. That's my goal. I want to be friends with my kids. I don't want to still... I mean, I'm still the parent.
So how are you dealing with teenage stuff?
I don't have a teenager, right? But I feel like everything's shifted down. And when I talk to teachers or other friends, they're like, because I don't know what it is. Is it social media? I'm not sure. But the kids are just maturing faster. Because when I remember myself in like primary school and middle, yes. Like, let's trade stickers at recess. Like, it was different. It was very different. And now it's like,
the amount of knowledge is out there.
God, yes.
They have access
they're growing up in a world that I haven't grown up in, so I can't. Again, like, we used to trade stickers and marbles. Like, there was certain things that were trendy that my kids would probably laugh at now, right? That's what you used to do. So I don't know. I feel like this is the time where their brains are growing and they're trying to understand themselves, and I want to instill confidence in them. I want them to love themselves. I want them to know that I love them. But I don't know. It's hard. It's hard. They're now drifting. It's that stage this is normal, where you're drifting towards friends more than you are your parents. I don't think I'm the cool mom anymore. Whereas I think my kids thought I was cool. My youngest still thinks I'm cool, so that's good. Okay. And this is fine. They're associating with their peers more than they are their parents. And this is.
But you already put the foundation.
I hope so. I don't know. Bismillah. I hope so. Inshallah. Yeah.
Okay. So we spoke before. You told me that you were running workshop about fixed mindset and.
Oh, fixed mindset and growth mindset. Yeah, I love this topic.
Would you like to speak about?
What do you want to know? I'm not an expert, but I'm just going to tell you what I've learned.
Whatever you have learned.
Kids hate growth mindset because there's no shortcut to growth mindset. You need to put in the work. And the last workshop that I attended, the speaker was talking about how David Beckham was his role model, and he wanted to be a football player, but he was told that he wasn't good, or like he didn't think he was good. And I can relate to that, because when you're growing up, you think, okay, I'm not sporty, so I have to be this, right? I have to be one thing or another thing. I can't be both. And he was going on to talk about how, but David Beckham would practice 2 hours in his backyard or in his garden every day since the age of 6. So let's put talent aside. Anybody who practices anything for 2 hours every day for a long period of time is going to improve, right? But you need to put in the work. And there's that discipline and that dedication that you need to have a growth mindset. So I feel like I'm embracing that growth mindset now as an adult. For sure.
It's not only for kids. It's
not only for kids. No. To be shown people's different perspectives in life, different ways of doing things. There's not only one way to do things, right? To learn something new. I think I've learned a lot of new things in my 5 years here, because I was forced to. Remember when I said I didn't have the choice? So now I'm trying to figure out what I like to do. And I've had to put work into doing that. I'm hoping that I'm able to translate that to my kids.
It's nice that you said you feel like you are forced, but do you think if somebody is not forced to put themselves out there or to try new things, they would have this mentality
I think it depends on the person. There's some people who are just very determined to do something. Do you know what I mean? Some people have that natural drive, like I'm going to do it no matter what. And some people need a bit of a push. So another expert from excerpt. Hi. What is this?
It's okay. Keep going.
Sorry.
This is the camera. I have to hit on.
Can you tell that I'm not...
Yeah. Okay.
Anyways, my techie. Let's not look at the technical issues.
No problem.
So one of the snippets from the workshop was, if a kid comes to you and says, I can't do math, you need to correct that statement. I can't do math yet. Everyone can do it. You just need to put the work in it. And it's a lot of work as a child and as a parent too, because you can't say, hey kid, go do growth mindset and not be with them along for that journey, right? So it's work from both ends, and it's a lot of work, but it will pay off.
Yes.
And yeah, I think everybody, adults and children, can benefit from growth mindset.
And for our children to have it, we need first to practice it and to enforce it into them.
If you don't do it yourself, I don't think you can understand it,
Yeah.
right? Like if I wasn't doing it myself, I don't think I'm going to come across as genuine. And kids are smart. They're going to be like, she doesn't know what she's talking about, right? Because she doesn't do it herself. So I think it's something that you need to practice first.
Yes.
I mean, look at what you've done growth mindset. Yes.
And then if you feel your children are challenged by something,
Yeah, they have.
would you push them to try it, or how would you deal with this?
I think every kid is different. My kids have been stuck on things. I have pushed them, or not necessarily push, but I'll expose them to it. And I'll keep exposing them to it until they feel comfortable with it. But that's me. I'm not saying that that's going to work for everybody, right? Honestly, every kid's different. And
that's you and your kid, because every kid is different.
Absolutely. Transitions have been an issue in my house. So for me, especially when my kids were younger, I would have to work on it and expose them to, transitioning to the next activity, or we're going out to this class or whatever. That was a challenge that we had, and we just had to be persistent and consistent. But we still tried it. I wouldn't say, okay, we're not doing this. Unless something really, really bad happened, I wouldn't do it. I think that's only happened once. When my daughter wanted to do horse riding lessons, so I'm like, okay, we're doing it. And the second lesson, the horse threw her really badly.
Oh my God.
Like really badly. So she was traumatized, I was traumatized. Now, some people would be like, no, you should go back. But we just couldn't go back.
And that's okay.
Yeah, so it didn't work for us, but we've tried everything. I'm not going to say, no, we're not going to try something. Yeah.
I think also our children just because I'd like to try many things.
Yes.
So I make my daughter
try this.
So I'm not sure if I'm different, she would be interested in trying new things. So it's like our relationship with our kids is really
maybe if you weren't open to trying new things, maybe she wouldn't be as open because she's not comfortable with it, or maybe she would be a completely different personality from you. You don't know.
You never know.
I think as parents, though, it helps if you expose your kids to different things, and I think being comfortable with change is a life skill that I've had to learn, because I wasn't comfortable with change. I liked things a certain way. Are we pharmacists? Like other pharmacists I've met too, they're very similar personalities. I don't know. It's funny.
I like to change. I like to try, but maybe some stuff I don't like to change. But now I'm totally fine with the change.
Right.
I think traveling helps.
Yes, it does. Yes, traveling with kids
and motherhood. I feel
nothing prepares you for motherhood.
And maturing also.
Absolutely, with age and life experience, but motherhood absolutely forces you to grow up.
Yes, gives you too much motive to do many changes. So changing from pharmacy to
whatever I'm doing now.
Doing different educating stuff for parents and children.
I don't know. I think I think for a long time, I had given myself the identity that I needed to be a working mom. And don't get me wrong, I enjoyed working. I enjoyed pharmacy. When I look back at my working days fondly, and there's times where I do miss it. But I think the mistake that I made is I gave myself an identity. And because I did that, when my circumstances changed, I felt like I lost myself. And I didn't know what to do. I also think, I don't know, culturally, society, whatever, there's that perception of you're a stay-at-home mom, that's it.
Yes.
I felt that. I'm not saying other people do, but I felt
the same
that.
Also. Because if you are, you have like this label, you cannot do anything. Even if you, like, for me, I don't like to leave my kids with anybody. So how can you go if you want to go to workshop or to, no one, like meetings, get together. 2 months ago, I saw a very nice event and I wanted to go. And then I was thinking, is it okay to get my children there? And I decided not to go because of this. Because people are expecting you sometimes. People are expecting you to wear the suit and just go there and forget that you are mother. Yeah. And you have children at home.
And listen, some people are okay with doing that, and that's perfectly fine, and all the power to them. I don't have a problem with working moms. I used to be a working mom. I just think, and I'm talking from my perspective, like, my personally, because I had given myself a label and everyone around me knew me as this person, that when I wasn't this person anymore, it's like, well, now what do I do? And I had to work through that. And I love being a mom. Now, it's hard when they're young. It's exhausting. It's beyond exhausting. The sleep deprivation is just something else. But it was I didn't take it as a job. I don't know. I don't even know how to describe it. But now I'm very, very comfortable. I'm very proud to be a mom. I'm happy to be a mom. And if I'm a working mom or a stay-at-home mom, it doesn't matter. I'm mom first. And I think because I've made that priority for me, and I've put other things that don't make me happy or things that I'm not passionate about, they've moved down the list. Whereas before I was trying to do everything. I'm happier.
We're like twins.
I think so.
Because
we're totally twins.
Because but for me, from the beginning, oh my God, I'm enjoying being mother.
Yeah.
And it's hard, but the thing
my
is,
kids
everybody
didn't sleep. Like, I enjoyed it, but I also need to sleep, and I was like a zombie.
This is the thing, is I feel like I'm weird a little bit. I don't know, but for me, like all the time, anybody ask me about my achievements. I had stuff at work and this, but I feel like when I teach my children something new, I feel this is my biggest achievement.
Our kids are our biggest achievement, and they're an amana. Like, I feel like now that I look at it like that, like, this is an amana given to me. I need to take care of it. And I'm very happy doing what I'm doing right now. Now, does that mean I'm never going to go back to work? No. But I do know that if I do go back to work, it's going to be to do something that I like.
And you don't have now.
I'm not working just for the sake of working.
Yes. Doing stuff.
Yes, I'm loving my flexibility.
This.
Yes,
I like this. That you are free to be mom and also to do all the stuff you like to do.
But were you okay with this from the beginning? Because for me, I'm like I'm a crazy schedule person.
No, I'm not.
No,
I don't like schedules.
If you ask my friends, I'm like crazy. They probably will still say I'm a crazy planner, but I like things planned. So when I have flexibility in the beginning, that was scary for me. I'm like, wait, I have time to do something.
I used to be to think that because I like creativity and creating stuff, and so I used to have this false wrong idea of if you are creative, you don't have to schedule, to plan. But, you know, and then after that I realized that in order to get creative,
you need
a routine and that thing I learned from my being mother also, because I want to balance. I want to do everything for my children, but I want to have my own time, my own passion, and my
Yes.
So like the word passion, I don't like it now. I feel like I'm
really?
moved.
I love that word.
No, because
Why?
I'm moved by like what makes me motivated.
Yeah.
The stuff the challenges when I get challenged. I feel like I want how to fix this, how to make something.
I can hear you. I hear you. Yeah.
So this podcast is out of my challenge, my voice as mother, as somebody who wants to do something.
Yep.
So let me get mics and speak up with other ladies, and we can express ourselves out there.
But you're passionate about it too, though. You like it.
I like it, but it's not my motive, you know.
Okay. So you're motivated by the challenge, by it.
Yeah.
Okay, I can understand that. No, I can understand that. If I'm given a challenge, I'm like, I'm not going to go seeking out challenges, but if I'm given a challenge, I will try to figure it out.
I'm not seeking any challenges. Please stay away.
I think that's something that I've learned that I've always done. Like if I've had a problem, I've tried to figure it out. I just didn't give myself credit for it. And I am stronger than I thought. I'm definitely stronger than I ever gave myself credit for. And I am good at, okay, fine, something's been handed to me that's not ideal. How do we make the best out of it?
Yes.
Yeah.
So, what we were speaking
We're talking about balance.
Yes.
Balance is huge. I had zero balance.
Okay.
I think that's why maybe I wasn't happy when the kids were smaller, because it was all about the kids. And it was zero about me. And they sucked all the energy out of me. And so them and the house, and then, you know, I was working part-time. I tried to homeschool for 1 year, and that aged me. And I mean, power to all the women who homeschool, but I would never do it again. I learned what works for me and what doesn't work for me. So I tried it.
This is the thing.
I tried it, and I'm like, great, my kids are doing good, but I'm not doing good. So this is not going to work. Finding balance, yes, that's the word that I think has helped me over these last couple of years. Is actually making time for me. And I don't think I've ever done that.
But now
I make sure I do, because it's funny how you think I'm putting all my energy and effort into my kids, my family, my extended family,
friends,
everything, but I'm showing up exhausted. And I can show up as a better mom, as a better family member, as a better friend if I've taken care of myself.
Absolutely.
And it didn't click until very recently that I need to take care of myself. Yeah.
And then the balance between, because it's trendy now to speak about self-love and giving birth, you know. I feel there's also balance between loving yourself and being selfish or self-absorbed.
Yeah. Yeah. So, like, you don't like the word, I don't like this word self-care.
Yeah.
I don't know. It just, the concept is good. I'm not saying it, I do it, but I don't know. I wouldn't call it self-care. I'm better at listening to my body.
Yes.
And if I know that I'm stressing or I haven't slept.
Being aware of what you feel and when to
take a break, when to step back, when to eat. There would be times where I'd be like, I haven't had breakfast or lunch. Why am I so cranky? Well, I didn't eat all day. Like, why am I not eating? Because I'm running and doing everything. Taking things off my plate. Not, again, I'm a crazy overscheduler. I think I'm very efficient, but to a fault, where I'm doing way too many things at one time. That's not smart. That's not good for me. So definitely finding that balance has been key to me being happier.
So we talked before about insecurities.
I don't remember what we said. What did we say?
You remember when you told me that at school you were the only child?
Oh, growing up. So yes, I think growing up in the community that I was in, it was like me, my brothers, and maybe another family. We were the only minority kids in school. I didn't have anyone I could truly relate to. Do you know what I mean? And growing up in primary, middle school, even high school, I mean, I have great friends. They're high school friends that I still keep in touch with. But I still felt like the outsider. I didn't really fit into any group. Being the only Muslim in that group, they didn't get where I was coming from. I mean, they were kind, they were nice. Am I still not?
No, I'm just afraid that wire get...
Oh, is it disconnecting?
No, it's not, but just better.
That's your nice way of saying don't break my microphone. Yeah, so I feel like I found myself in that summer between high school and university, because that's the summer I decided I'm going to wear a hijab.
For that long?
Yeah, because I felt like for hijab, for me, I wanted to wear it. I've always wanted to wear it. I didn't have the courage to. I didn't have anyone in my school who wore it. I didn't want to be, and I mean, high school's a hard time too. You want to fit in. You don't want to stick out. Who was I don't know. I didn't feel like I had the courage to do it. Which is sad, because when makes us
go back to the identity thing.
I didn't have that confidence. I didn't have that self-confidence that I wish I had. And again, the high school friends that I grew up with, I'm still in touch with them. They're amazing people. But I couldn't relate to them. I couldn't do the things that they were doing being Muslim. So I wore hijab. Oh, right. And I told you the story. I had to go back. Yeah. So first year university, I think the first month you had to go back to high school for graduation. So now I'm wearing hijab. And I went back and my friends were like, okay, it looks nice. And I'm like, really? Because I was so nervous. I was expecting some different reaction. I didn't know what reaction to expect, but nobody cared. And the people who were my friends were like, yeah, it looks great on you. I'm like, are you kidding me? If I had known that you would have been okay with it, I would have. Do you know what I mean? Because you look for that approval from your peers.
You had this.
I had this mindset, in my head that people are not gonna like me. What am I gonna do? I would be the only hijabi in school. I just didn't have the courage. So I mean, honestly, I really look up to the ladies who have had that courage to wear it. It took me a long time, but that really helped me start solidifying who I was. Yes. As my identity. So yeah, after high school. So I was always the smart kid, but did I really know who I was? No. So that was the first point where I started my journey in figuring out who I was and really understanding who I was. I was wearing hijab before university.
It's like I finished all my questions.
Yay. That was good.
So, okay. So, would you like to say anything?
I'm trolling you. Would I like to say anything? No. I'm proud of you for doing this.
Thank you.
Yeah, this is great. For my friends who know me, I'm so not techie that when you're setting this up, I have no idea what she's doing. Thank you for having me on.
Thank you for getting.
I hope this interview made sense. People are gonna watch this and be like, we don't understand.
When
we jumped a lot.
No problem. This is the thing of podcasts that you just jump.
You jump.
But I really appreciate talking about identity because I feel in this world, figuring out who you are.
It's a process.
It's a process.
Yeah.
And sometimes we feel like we have to do it now. We have to figure it out.
But you're never going to figure it out, right? Because it depends on your stage of life.
Yeah, it's really changing. And the fact that we have to realize this and just keep going and keep trying and do our best at this moment with the knowledge we have.
Do the best with what you know at the time. Yes.
So it's amazing. Thank you.
Our identity might even change 5 times from now till another 10 years, right?
Yeah.
As our kids grow up, as we discover new things, right?
Yes.
So it's ongoing. Oh wow, we're continuing.
Yes.
She ended it 2 minutes ago, and I'm still talking. No, okay. No, this is our last. This is the last thing.
I like how it is going.
Like she doesn't
It's
stop
totally
talking.
spontaneous.
This whole thing of figuring out your identity, you're never going to figure it out completely because you change, you mature. What happens when your kids are older, married, leave your house? Right? Then you're going to have another phase in your life where you need to figure out what you want to do. So I think it's constantly changing, and we should be okay with that. We should be okay with changing what our priorities are, and that's okay. Right? Us changing being pharmacists to being something else that we want to do is okay. And for me, for a long time, that wasn't okay. I needed to be the identity or that label that I'd given myself. Now we're done.
Yes. Okay. Thank you.
Like, look at the time.
No, absolutely. If you want to keep going.
No, I'm done. I promise I'm done.
Okay. Thank you, Kawther, for coming and getting excited about this.
We should do like a twin picture.
Absolutely, yes. We need actually. Okay, guys, bye.